There you go.
I felt like 2016 was the worst year of my life, and 2017 has been a complete turnaround. So, to anyone going through the worst year of their life, hang in there.
Oh, that's well. Hey, everybody! Welcome to Hanging Out with Successful Bar Exam Takers and Students. Actually, what I should say today is aloha, because we are in Hawaii with Julie Sparks, the about to be newest member of the Hawaii Bar. Hi, Julie. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing well. I kind of have to say, before we hit the record button, you showed me the view from your windows downtown, looking out to the water. Holy cow! Pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
it is great. I try to be grateful for that every day.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Amazing. You're in Honolulu, right?
Yes, I'm downtown Honolulu, walking distance to most of the courthouses and law firms.
God, that's great. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Okay. So everything I know about Hawaii 5 or about Hawaii, I learned from Hawaii 5 but I am wearing my Hawaii shirt in your honor today.
Okay,
So
that's
there you go.
right.
Yeah, there you go. So there you go. Tommy Bahama. Well, anyway,
Great.
this is about you, not about me. You took and passed the Hawaii bar in February 2017, correct?
Yes,
Yeah. Why
I
don't you
just
tell?
got my results in May.
Yeah. So why don't you tell our audience a little bit about your backstory and how you came to be in a position to take the exam and what led you up to this spot?
Okay, I went to law school late in life. I think I was 49 when I graduated, and I'm also a real estate broker. So at the time, I didn't take the bar exam right away because I got busy with real estate. And then my husband and I were getting a divorce, so I realized I better hurry up and take the bar exam so I have another stream of income. And so I did that in February 2016 using Kaplan. And I already knew I couldn't really keep up with the study program and schedule they had because they're really geared toward people that can study full time for that. But I figured I would take it anyway. I missed it by 2 points. Um, really, really dejected over that. And I knew I had to find a different kind of program. So I found yours, Celebration, and I took it again in July. But I still wouldn't, I was too stubborn to listen to you about changing my writing style from Iraq to FLA. And I also refused to practice the essays. So I missed it again by 2 points. And I wanted to just jump off of my lanai.
Yeah. And I've seen it's a steep drop from your lanai. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've taken the exam twice now. And for those, let's back up for just a minute. For people that aren't familiar with the Hawaii bar exam, can you talk about the components of it and kind of what's involved in the exam itself?
Sure. We've got the 6 essay questions. We also have, and those are, you never know what topic it's going to be. When I took it, both of the first times I failed it, they had secured transactions, evidence, just my worst subjects I felt like were on it.
Okay. And
So,
these are the MEE, the multi-state essay exam questions. So,
and then,
okay.
sorry, we've got the 200 multiple choice, but they've also got 15 questions on Hawaii rules and ethics,
Okay.
multiple choice.
Okay. And did you have a performance test?
Yes, and then we have 2 performance tests. So our first day is the essays and performance test all in one, and the multiple choice from the state of Hawaii on ethics. So it's really a grueling day the first day.
Yeah. And then the second day is the multi-state bar.
Yeah.
Okay. So you take the exam, fail by a couple points, come back, take it, fail again by a couple of points. You were not a happy camper after that second try, I remember. And then what happened? What was your thought process after that second attempt at the exam?
I thought, I don't know if I'm going to take it again. I felt like I had studied really hard the second time, and I felt like I did not know if maybe it wasn't for me. Maybe God was trying to tell me that this was not the path He had for me. But then you and I talked, and I admitted to you that I didn't do everything you said. And you kind of went like, did a face plant when I told you I still stuck with Iraq because I was too afraid to change. So I decided I would do it one more time. This time I would change my writing style, practice the essays, and if I didn't pass after that, that was going to be it.
Right. And just so people know, Actually, Julia's not exaggerating. I really did a face plant. I was just apoplectic that you had gone through the course and were still doing what you had done before, which did,
Yep.
you know, and it was like, no, no, don't do that. But I also remember in that conversation how discouraged you were and how much frustration you had. It was like, I've come so close. Maybe I should walk away from this, and encouraging you, as I've said to other people, you know, in effect, you're one answer away. That's all. And when you're that close, being able to push over and get across the finish line is a big deal. And so I will admit, I sort of pushed and goaded you to come back and try it one more time. But you had to make the decision, right? And to say, I'm going to do it. So you make the decision to sit one more time. Talk a little bit about what your study life was like this third time going into the exam.
Oh my goodness. I had to clear everything out of my life because I started working at the state capitol for the House Minority Research Department, kind of as a research attorney, although I couldn't really be called attorney. And that job was probably 45, 50 hours a week. So I would go to work, go running, and come home and study for 3 or 4 hours at night, and then on the weekends. So I had to, nothing else could get in. Nothing else could get in. I remember getting a little angry when family would want attention and calling me. I lived alone. I don't have any kids at home anymore. But still, just any little interaction I felt like was throwing me off schedule. I had to be very regimented. And I was not a lot of fun.
Yeah, and most bar takers aren't. And so if you're studying about 3 hours a day and then more on the weekends, is that accurate?
Yes.
So how many hours a week would you say you were putting into your studies?
I would say probably 15 to 20. But I never stopped studying after. I mean, I started again right away after you and I talked, studying again. So I feel like that helps. And I made myself practice writing, which seemed to be my biggest hurdle.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this. What was the difference for you between IRAC writing, what you had done in law school and what you had done the first couple of times on the exam, and the writing style that I wanted you to use? How would you describe that difference?
I think with IRAC, if I got an essay topic that I didn't know very well, I would immediately start to panic on the bar exam because I was thinking I don't have all the law memorized. So how can I spot the issues and argue about them if I don't know what the law is? Where with your method, you just have to slow down and look at the facts and think logically. What's this person going to say? What's that person going to say? What arguments will they make? And then answer them. You don't feel like you have to memorize every in and out of the law to write something.
Yeah. So this time through, you didn't spend time trying to memorize. That wasn't your primary focus, right?
Yes. I spent time trying to improve my writing and getting used to making the chart of the arguments for both sides.
Right. And that process doesn't come naturally at the beginning, would you say? It took some effort to do it.
It took some effort to do it because we're taught in law school to do one way, and there's a little bit of fear of letting go of what's comfortable. But after the two failures where, like you said, I was literally just a couple points away. I just needed to improve something a little bit.
Right.
And it seemed that when I was doing my practice essays and comparing them to the model answers, I could easily see areas where I could improve my answer. And so then I started to think more like that.
Would you say there was a point where you began to gain confidence that you were going to be okay this time on the exam, or did you stay in sort of a state of anxiousness all the way through?
I wasn't really anxious. I felt like I was prepared, but I think the point where I knew I was going to be okay on this exam is when I saw what the essay topics were on the exam.
Okay.
And they were all topics that I kind of like.
Okay, and topics that you'd studied and essays that you'd written. You took our basic mentored course, so you weren't sending work to me. Can you talk a little bit about how you motivated yourself? In the past, you hadn't done the writing. What got you motivated to do the practice writing this time around?
This was going to be my last shot at it. And so I thought, if I don't do everything I'm supposed to do, I'll never know if I could have passed or not. So those were the things I hadn't done in the past. So I had to throw all of it in, or else I can't say I gave it my best shot. And I can't quit if I didn't give it my best shot.
That's
It's
awesome.
kind of my personality.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also had kind of the hint of a job offer in the future at the Capitol as a staff attorney if I passed the bar exam. So I had, kind of a carrot dangling in front of me. So it was very important at that time to pass the bar exam.
But now you told me before we went on to record that there was a lot going on in your personal life too when all
Yeah.
this was happening. Can you share a little bit about that? Because I think sometimes people think, well, you live in Hawaii, it's beautiful, you look out the ocean every day, you go running. I mean, what problem could this lady have, right? You want to
Yeah,
share
there
a
are a
little
lot
bit?
of problems. Hawaii is very expensive to live in, and so most of us have two jobs.
Yeah.
I was a realtor and working at the Capitol, and I was doing that because in December, my husband and I separated, and we're living separately. We actually got divorced last April, so it was really important for me. Here I am, 51 years old, and have to make a living. I don't have any retirement saved, nothing. It was very scary. There was a lot of fear in my life during that year,
Hmm.
a lot of fear and anxiety about my future. And so that affected probably every decision that I made. And I did not feel that mentally I was as focused as I would have been otherwise.
Hmm.
It's harder to focus because I had a lot of drama seeping in.
Sure.
Um, that had calmed down by this February when I took the bar exam.
Okay.
And then my husband and I actually just reconciled and we're getting remarried very soon. So it seemed like the minute, I don't know, I think God was working on both of us through the whole thing. It's a long story and it would be another podcast that would probably be from my church. But yeah, God was working on both of us and we finally got back together.
That's awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the best possible outcome. And congratulations, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
To get your bar membership and to get your marriage back, it's a big win, right? It's a
It
big
is a
win.
big win. And so this frees me up to do some of the work that I would like to do where I don't have to worry about how much money I'm going to make.
Hmm. Hmm.
More kind of volunteering with legal aid, and the Alliance Defending Freedom is going to have a case here, and I would love to do some work on that with an attorney that I met at the Capitol.
That would be awesome. And I
Yeah.
think, you probably heard me talk about, we view our mission at Celebration Bar Review to empower and help people become members of the bar who otherwise don't have a voice. I think you've seen that in your own life and what happens when you become a member of the bar. Suddenly you are brought into the table and into the discussion in a way that you might not have been. So that's really gratifying to us to have had a role in that. I think sometimes people assume that the process of retaking when you come close should be easy because you just need a couple more points. But it really wasn't that way for you, was it? It was almost like
Yeah.
it
Oh.
was almost like torture to be that close and not make it.
Well, the first time I kind of gave myself a pass, I thought, okay, well, of course you didn't pass. You weren't really expecting to pass. You just went through a divorce. I had never been able to keep up with the Kaplan program. So I kind of thought, okay, well, we knew that probably wouldn't go great. The second time, I felt like I really put the time in
Hmm.
and the effort. And then when I failed by the same score, yeah, that was the hard time for me, the second try.
Yeah, yeah,
And no, it was not easier. I put more time in for the second try than I had on the first try.
yeah, yeah. That's really frustrating. So you go to the bar exam the third time. You've done this additional studying. You've done the writing now in preparation. What's it like to go in and take the exam for the third time?
I think I went in, I felt pretty calm. I went in just trying to remind myself of how to do the writing. Um, and because I felt like sometimes I would go into the bar exam and it would get jumbled in my head, I would have a hard time getting it out on the paper. Just trying to be calm and focused and really kind of just saying a prayer that, God, I know you allowed me to go to law school for a reason. So, I'm
Yeah.
just going to do my best here.
Okay. So you finished the exam, 2 pretty long days. And now there's a fairly long waiting period for results. What's that like for you, waiting this time again?
It was torturous because I think it's pretty close to 10 or 11 weeks in Hawaii before we get our result. Um, Luckily, I had the job, so I was pretty busy at work, but still, I would be, marking down the weeks, just waiting, thinking, where am I going to be when I get that email? Because that's how they tell us. We'll get an email. I remember when I got the second, or no, the email from the February 2016, I was sitting on the floor of the Senate at the attorney's table because I was one of his staff, our senator. And I saw the email pop up on my laptop. I'm like, should I open it or not? And I opened it and it was the failing email and I had to keep a straight face and not have a reaction.
Yeah.
So I was hoping that I was not going to be in a situation like that this time.
Okay, so where were you when this email came out?
I was in a finance hearing.
Okay.
I was in a finance hearing sitting next to my boss, but they had made a mistake. So I never got the email saying my results were in. I got an email inviting me to the bar admission ceremony. And I showed it to my boss. I said, why are they sending me this? Did I get my results? So then I had to log in, and their system had a glitch that day, and it never sent out our results. So I had passed. That's how I found out.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
So what did you? So you're in the committee hearing. You realize you passed. Did you have to still keep a straight face?
No, luckily they were in a little recess, so we could high five each other.
Awesome. That's
Yep.
awesome.
A little high five.
Yeah, yeah. So what did your friends and family think? What was the reaction?
Well, they were so happy because I had shared with several of them that I didn't want to take it a third time. And so they were happy that I had done it and stuck to it. And, overwhelmed. My sister sent me $100 Amazon gift certificate, That's why we're having the celebration party on Friday. Celebration.
Yeah, I like that name. Yeah.
Yeah, at a restaurant. And I think I've got about 25 people coming already.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
it's going to be a
So
big celebration day.
you're not going to Duke's, are you?
No, that's on Sunday.
Oh, okay. See,
That's on Sunday. We're going to, it's a little wine bar restaurant that's
nice.
up in Winter Place. Yeah.
Nice, nice. So it really, I mean, I think this is one of those stories that a lot of people can look at and take great hope in, right? That if you just keep at it, if you stick with it, if you follow the plan, it'll work. I mean, for you, the ultimate difference was following the plan, doing what we had asked you to do, right? And that's what
Yes.
made the difference.
I would tell someone if you're using celebration, just do the writing and change your style the first time, because then you probably won't have to take it again.
Yes, and you will avoid the face plant from me, which,
Yes, which I could understand. And what I liked about your program was I think you can be a working person and still keep up with it. You can be a person going through things in your life, and I think that your style of the daily affirmations, and I know we all have different faiths, but you bring that in also. It's very encouraging when you're down. So I appreciated all of that.
good, good. I'm so glad. Well, we are so excited for you. I mean, what a great story. What a great opportunity. And, you're still pretty young in my book. I mean, you got a lot of opportunities here to really make a difference and to use your law degree and to use the skills that you've got. And it's really exciting to see this world opening up for you on a professional level, and then a personal level, getting everything pulled back together again is just terrific. I mean, this is sort of the best of all possible worlds in the best possible place in the world, I think.
It is.
Yeah. So, and if you want to buy some real estate, here's your person, right, to go
Yep.
see. So there you go.
I felt like 2016 was the worst year of my life, and 2017 has been a complete turnaround. So to anyone going through the worst year of their life, hang in there.
Oh, that's great. Well, listen, thank you so much for sharing your story, being just so open and telling us about your experience. I know people are going to really love hearing this and watching it. I think it's going to inspire a lot of folks. And you were also part of our Facebook group, weren't you? You were on our
Yes.
Facebook page.
Yeah.
And I know you still are around there. And I appreciate the fact so many of our passing students have stuck around to help out others. And that's really a nice thing. It's a great community. So I encourage people to check that out and connect with you on the Facebook group if they're in our course. So Best of luck to you. Good luck with the swearing-in ceremony and the marriage ceremony. Lots of ceremonies coming up in your
Yeah.
life, and stay in touch with us. We'd love to hear all the cool things that are happening. And again, congratulations on this terrific achievement. We're so very proud of you.
Thank you so much. And if you're ever in Hawaii, let me know.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of my favorite places. I'll check
Great.
it out for sure. Well, thank you, Julie. Thanks to everybody who was with us today. We'll see you again next time. Bye for now.
Okay. Aloha.